Next, I want to shift over to something we've all heard about that, which is the Facebook LIBRA. This is Facebook's version of crypto, but it's not what you might think it is. And some people say it's not crypto as the way you think of it. Also, it's controlled by a major corporation that some people say is more powerful than the US government. So it has a lot of strange implications that crypto doesn't, since it technically isn't completely independent. And so this is Andreas Antonopoulos talking about Zuckbucks, aka the Facebook Libra, when it comes to a cryptocurrency.
Facebook is launching, presumably next month, their own coin. We joke and we call it Zuckbucks, but they're going to call it Global Coin, I think, or something like that.
Right.
And the irony, of course, is it's not Global Coin, because it can't be borderless. And the reason it can't be borderless is because as global as Facebook is in most of its reach, its jurisdiction is very carefully controlled. So if you are a US citizen who has Facecoin, you can't send it, or Zuckbucks, you can't send it without restrictions. They're going to be subject to the same laws that PayPal has, and any of the other big banks. So it can't be borderless. It can't be neutral. They have to know the identity of both parties in every transaction, and those parties must be allowed. It's not open. They have to be vetted in order to participate. It's not censorship resistant. They have a legal obligation to censor transactions, certain transactions, right?
Okay.
So therefore, it has none of these characteristics.
Which means it doesn't qualify as what? It doesn't qualify as what in your minds?
For me, it doesn't qualify as revolutionary, interesting, or impactful to the future.
Okay.
It's going to impact banks because it competes very directly against banks. If you're a banker, you should be terrified now because you've got Bitcoin coming on one end, open, peer-to-peer, borderless. You can't play in that game at all because it's an alien thing.
Right.
And then on the other end, your best business, which is making payments and using technology, is now being threatened by a company that knows how to do technology much better than you and has a dopamine playful algorithm that can make people addicted, and 2 billion users on day one. You're screwed.
So we'll have to see what happens with the Libra. I know the last time I looked, the Congress wanted to have Facebook there and talk about it. The truth is, it's not really a crypto. It's more of a pseudo-crypto, because I think it's going to be dollar-based, again, controlled potentially by a major corporation that's in your biz and in your data. So it's not a pure crypto in that sense, but the adoption of Libra might help actually more adoption of crypto and it becoming something standard that's used around the world. So more to be said on this and more to be watched. Some great comments coming in here I'd love to address. Travel says, I'm 47 and this is confusing. How can I get started? And this is something that Kim Kiyosaki spoke about a month ago when she was on London Real. Of course, she's married to Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is the #1 selling personal finance book of all time. And Kim said something that I agreed with, because I used to trade on Wall Street. And when I was 22 years old, I started trading treasury bonds, options, interest rate futures, derivatives on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, all sorts of things. And the best way to do that, Travel, is to buy a small amount. And this is what Kim said as well. It's how you get comfortable with an asset. So buy a small little gold coin and hold a piece of gold. Buy a small piece of Bitcoin, maybe $50 worth of Bitcoin or Ethereum or one of the cryptocurrencies that Tika is going to talk about. Try buying one stock of one company and sit on it and watch it. And then it's almost like having a pet. You kind of see how it behaves, how you have to feed it and water it. You can see the prices go up, the prices go down, and you start to get a feel for what it's like to own that asset. And that's the best thing to do. And that's what I did with Bitcoin. 2013, it was hard to buy it. It was hard to exchange it. There weren't any of these exchanges. But I started to understand how it was working, how the blockchain, how I transferred it. If I forgot where it was, I completely lost it forever. So it wasn't like a bank account in that sense. It's a great way to really get a feel for what's going on. So that's what I would say. Some people are saying, how do I buy crypto? It's a great question. And it's something that Tika is going to be talking about in his free training, how to pick up these 5 altcoins that are trading very, very cheaply right now. So again, it's londonreal.tv/crypto if you want to get to that free training. And Tika will be giving away one of those coin picks for free as well. I personally have used Coinbase in the past. That's what we use to accept and monitor our balance in the London Real Academy when we take payments there. But most of these exchanges like Coinbase and Binance, they're very trustworthy. They link up to your bank account. They hold your your balance there, or you can hold it in cold storage, or you can hold it somewhere else. So it's actually quite easy to do these days. And I said, spend an hour, buy a small amount, and then you'll get very comfortable with how it works. It'll help you a lot. Also, Darren said, you can't carry $500,000 worth of gold on a plane, but you can carry $500,000 worth of crypto. And I think that's great. And also Dr. Ben Goertzel, who's a big AI guy, said the same thing. You know, whenever you're changing countries, if you have more than 10 grand in dollars in cash, they want you to declare it. But you could have a thumb drive with $1 million of crypto walking around on it. And I think that's a right you have as a human, to be able to move around your assets as you feel. You should also be able to move your assets without a bank or a government telling you you can't. I think that's a basic human right. I think that's what crypto gives you. And I think when times get crazy on this planet, you're going to want that right. When everything's nice and happy and stocks are going up, you don't think about wanting to have this need. But when they are, you might really need to have a currency or an asset that you can move across borders. So that's great. John Taylor says, I always get hyped when I watch crypto on London Real, but then I always never know where to actually invest. And again, I've used Coinbase in the past, and Tico will be talking about more of this on his training.
At London Real, we believe that individual transformation can change the world. Join us and start your journey today.